How's it going, everybody? This is BeatTheBush. Today I'm going to talk about how to save money while eating out. I've gathered a lot of tips and tricks together. Some of them I actually do myself, some of them I don't. Pick and choose which one is right for you. I'm not saying everyone should do all of these things, so just do whatever you're comfortable with. And of course, a video like this won't be complete with cashback credit cards. Whenever you go eat out, use credit cards to do it. US Bank Altitude Go, 4% cash back as long as you redeem to their checking or savings account, or you can use the points on Amazon. This is 4% all year long, so much better than those category ones. Robinhood, 3% cashback credit card off of everything. And this is all year long, except, you can't pay taxes with this, I found out. Really good as a backup in case one card doesn't work, you use this one. And of course, whenever Discover or Chase Freedom has those 5% categories for restaurants, I would use these instead. So I swap out whichever one has the highest cash back. And I check every quarterly and make a little cheat sheet. Here's my cheat sheet. I sort of laminate it by putting tape on both sides. I find out sometimes I need the cheat sheet because I'm just fumbling around with things. I'm just too busy thinking about other things. And so I just pull this out and read down the list. I've highlighted everything that's the best for that quarter. The next thing might be a little controversial because some people might opt to pay more tip, 18%, 20, 25%. But I find tipping on tax sort of irks me in a pet peeve sort of way. Or should you just tip only on the base price without the tax? If you're generous, if you tip on the tax, it might be maybe 2% more or so. But the way I like to look at it is to tip on the base bill itself without the tax. Some restaurants, when they suggest a tip, is actually the after-tax bill. That really irks me. Whenever I see that, I purposely go back and say, no, that's not what I want to pay. Even if they're holding up this kiosk in my face, I would go and slowly calculate it with my phone and then type it in with the server standing there, right? I didn't used to do that, but tipping has kind of gotten out of hand. You tip everywhere, including places where there's no service rendered whatsoever. You just go up, buy something, and they want a tip. Do whatever you think it's right. This is only a suggestion. Another way to save is I find myself ordering too much. Sometimes you have to-go boxes and stuff. So if you really try to not have any to-go boxes at all, order only as much as you need that you're gonna eat there only. Whenever you bring something home, it's not as tasty anyway, so why bring it home? You can have a brand new fresh meal instead. Of course, ordering just enough works well for like medium build like myself or girls. Your appetite is a little bit smaller. It's not like American sized. If it's at an American restaurant like Olive Garden, Texas Roadhouse or something like that, then the portions are huge. You could potentially just order one set of those and share and then not have any doggy bag or take home. So when you do this, you just order an extra plate, you split it at the table. No takeout, you don't have to eat leftover foods. No usage of single use boxes even. In Europe, their portions are a bit smaller, so you actually do need to order one single entree per person. Of course, this is only for restaurants where they serve enormous portions, so you can just split it between two people that doesn't have a huge appetite. Now, if it's a place with a regular size entree, if they offer a large size, then you can order that one and split that one instead. Example being steakhouses serving 12 ounces. Instead of getting the 12, maybe you get the 16 or 20 ounce. You cut the steak right in half and boom, there you go. You got two steaks instead. Instead of a medium coffee, let's say at Starbucks, right, which is 12 ounces, you order a large coffee, 20 ounces, split it down the middle, 10 ounces each person. Of course, you have to be okay with sharing the same cup, or if you have really thick face, you can ask for an extra cup. Split it that way, but I never do that myself. Also, I very rarely order a drink because I never think it's really worth it. I just drink water. I got used to it, so I always just order tap water. If you must order a drink, you can order just one drink and then share it. I'm not sure if every restaurant allows this, especially with the places with free refills, right? But most servers don't really care. Maybe if they say something, then okay, fine. You can get another drink. Or if the menu says, you have to order one drink per person, okay, fine. This is the same thing with restaurants that require one entree per person. So, when it says so, of course you can't split. Order the two entrees. But When you do this consistently and at places that you know where you can do it, right? Instead of a, let's say $50 bill, you pay a $25 bill. This allows you to eat out 2 times. Instead of eating one big meal where you have to take stuff home, you eat a smaller meal that's satisfying, and you make sure you order enough and it's half the cost. And then this means with the same amount of money, you can go out and eat twice, double the satisfaction. You don't even have to eat the leftovers the next day or 2 or 3. You can wait a week, go again. The food is going to be ultra fresh. It's freshly prepared for you. So there are a lot of advantages to, sort of only ordering enough for yourself. Another way to think of going to restaurants for me in order to save the most is to think of it as going as an experience. You go to new restaurants to experience it, but once you have experienced it, unless it's really, really good and you keep on craving it, sure, you can go back. But I think for me, 9 out of 10 times at least, the restaurant is not good enough. I just try it and I look at the decor, looks great. Maybe it's like $100 for 2 people. It's too expensive, but that's still okay because you're only going one time. If you're a foodie, of course, you keep on going to a lot of different restaurants. Sometimes it becomes hard to keep track of, let's say 100 restaurants, or maybe other restaurants where you traveled somewhere and you ate here and there. Sometimes when I don't write a review or make a mental note, or on Google Maps you bookmark it or something, write a comment, you might forget that you actually went there. I've done this before until I actually stepped in the restaurant. It's like, hey, this looks familiar. I've been here before. So this might sound obvious, but when you make a note of it, that you've been there like 2 or 3 years ago, then you can recall what it tastes like. If someone wants to go with you to this restaurant, then you can say, oh yeah, I've been there. It tastes like this. It's not all that. We don't have to go. Happy hour is a great time to eat dinner, actually, depending on the restaurants. Some of them have really, really good deals. For example, Hai Di Lao Hot Pot. After 9 p.m., they have some crazy discounts like 22% off or something like that. But I'm not suggesting to starve yourself for 2 hours, because normally I eat at 7 p.m. Sometimes you might accidentally eat too much for lunch, or you had a late lunch or something, and then you are required to have a late dinner. If you have these places in mind, then you can go, hey, why don't we go to there? It happens to have a happy hour and it's cheaper, and you can, eat at 9 p.m. or whatnot. So those places are a good idea to keep in mind in case you end up eating at that time. Most happy hours are actually not a good deal because they would have these little tiny menus, right? And cocktails or whatever, and they say, okay, $5 per item. And then they give you like 2 pieces of chicken wings for $5, or like 1 slider or something. So you really have to figure out how much are you paying for each piece that you're getting. Is the value just as good as if you get like a dinner meal, or is the value the same? Most of the time I found that these happy hour menus are not very good. They like put the cheapest things in it, and it's just not a good deal. So you have to evaluate the happy hour based on the restaurant and based on the menu that they give. Example, $10 for 6 hot wings. Oh, okay, $10. It seems relatively cheap, but when you look at the dinner menu, it might be $15 for 12 hot wings, right? $5 more for 6 more. If it's a new restaurant that you're trying, or that it's a brand new restaurant opening, you might actually want to order less on purpose. Order only 1 entree, their most famous one or whatever, and test it out first. Wait for it to come. I know it's annoying because you might start eating and you're like hungry. You have to order again. You have to wait another 10-20 minutes. But this is a good way to reduce risk because you don't know if it's good or bad. You can always order more later, or if it's really terrible, you save the money on the extra entree or 2 or appetizer, and then you can just go to a backup restaurant nearby. Go to a McDonald's, go to a Chipotle. It's much cheaper. And if it's just not enough, maybe you can have a dessert. Go somewhere else and have a dessert, or you can order a dessert there as well. Sometimes when I go to a new city, I find a brand new restaurant. It has really great reviews, 4.5 star, 200, 300 reviews or more. So pretty decent in terms of numbers. But when you actually go there, no one's there. Maybe 1 or 2 people are eating in the restaurant. 95% of the time, the food is not very memorable, not very good. Maybe they don't have enough volume to recycle the food so that it's fresh. So this is something I've always told myself after I get bit time and time again, is that if I ever go to a new restaurant and there's only 1 or 2 people in the restaurant and there's no line, or the line is very, very short, then I would just stop right there and not go. I know it's really tempting because I've selected a very, very good restaurant. It took me a long time to find these. Maybe it take like 20 minutes to go there, and then you find out that, hey, no one's in there. Well, you still have to just kind of turn around and not go, because most of the time is not very good. There's a reason no one's eating there, and there's a reason there's no line. I'm still trying to implement this myself because it's so hard. Sometimes you're ready to eat, you have envisioned that maybe you're gonna eat ramen or something, and you really, really want ramen, and you're like, oh, whatever, I'm just gonna go in and eat anyway. Sometimes you just have to do that because you're just really, really hungry and you don't want to eat anything else. You just want to give it a try. But yeah, if you can stop yourself from going to something like that where there is no one in there, then that could potentially save you in most cases. Sometimes they have signs saying, if you write a review on Google or Yelp, you can get a free drink, a free appetizer or something. So whenever you see that, go for it. What do you guys think? Which one will you guys do? Just an idea on how to save money. I use some of these. I don't use all of them. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to give me a like and subscribe for more.